Hey guys, what's up? I know I haven't made a video in a while, and I know this is kind of old school on my MacBook, but I left my camera at home over the weekend, and I just wanted to make a video for you guys because over the weekend I watched the series finale of Lost for the third time. Obviously, the first time I watched it was when it aired. Second time I watched it on TV, I only caught this like the tail end of it, but I consider that watching it. And then this time I watched it from the beginning to end with my grandma, and I gathered a lot of new thoughts about the whole thing. This was ultimately what I came up with as a new interpretation for the ending. Alright, now what we need to remember first and foremost is that Lost is a sci-fi show. It's not intended to truly make absolute logical sense in reality. Point of me saying that is, I believe that the island was certainly a real place. It was a place that they actually were at and they were actually alive. This was their real life. But the island's mysteries, that was the sci-fi part. And I guess everyone was trying to make an answer out of that. Or if they couldn't, then they would make it that they were dead when they were on the island. But that's not true. I think it was just that those characters live in a world where there is a mysterious island in the middle of nowhere that can move around. And that island is significant because it can show you what hell is like. Jacob said in Ab Aeterno that the cork in the wine bottle was the island, and that it was keeping the wine, which was hell, from coming out of it. My interpretation of this is that the island was intended to show the characters what hell would be like. These characters were destined for hell due to the way that they lived before they were on the island. That is why they were brought to the island by Jacob. The island thus could redeem them and save them from a life in hell once they died. They were alive while on the island. Now, I've said in my other videos that I think that all of these characters were soulmates, if you want to call it anything, and that they were meant to move on to whatever's next together. I've also said that I think that they created this place together, as Christian said in the final episode. But the reason that I think that they did that is because they were each dying at different times, and the only way that they would be able to find each other all at the same time would be if they created this place. You're just projected into a level of consciousness in the alternate reality once you die. An example here is Juliet. When Juliet is dying at the bottom of what would be the hatch in the beginning of season 6, she says to Sawyer, we should get coffee sometime and we can go Dutch. At that point, it didn't make sense to us. We didn't really understand why those were her last words. In the finale, the things that she says to Sawyer when they first start to realize that there's something there, when they first see a flash of each other. She says, we should get coffee sometime. He says, I don't only have $1 left. And she says, that's okay, we can go Dutch. So as you're dying, my thought is that Lost is presenting that you are starting to see the moment at which you remember in the alternate reality. A lot of people, when they die, especially in the show, but in general, when they die, they see this kind of peace and they want to go into it, and that's why we let go. I think that what Lost is saying that you are seeing when you're dying is the happiness that you see when you remember your life and you know that you're meant to move on. All the things that were similar between the real life and the alternate reality afterlife were things that each of the characters couldn't let go of. Such as John Locke, for example, was still paralyzed. He was still uncomfortable and unable to let go and really grasp what happened with his becoming paralyzed in his first life. Claire was still pregnant. Kate still delivered her baby. And yes, these things were meant to help them remember, but it was also because Aaron was the thing that Kate couldn't let go of. She felt so guilty about having him. And Claire didn't want to go back to real life in the series finale because she felt like she wasn't worthy of raising Aaron. This is also supported by Christian Shepherd saying that the reason that they made the alternate reality was so that they could all remember and find each other, but also so that they could just let go. They couldn't move on until they let go of this baggage. I would go as far as to call it something like unfinished business. Things that they weren't entirely content with, that they still continued to regret when they died. So then when it would happen in the alternate reality, it would almost be like a sort of extreme deja vu, and they would be like, this happened before, which would be why it triggered all of their memories of their past lives. So yeah, that's basically my newest explanation and interpretation of Lost. I know it's a little redundant, I've said some of this stuff before, but I felt like this was a little more concrete of a way to explain it. I thought it might make sense to a couple people out there. I know it helps me to understand the whole series a bit more. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. And there will be more Lost videos. There's always Lost videos. But yeah, my social links are down there. And I will be talking to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.